My next guest says, the people of Florida need help, but sometimes you need to be focused on getting that help. Time's a wasting. Dave Dodson is his name. Of course, he's very familiar to a lot of Fox viewers, has a great book out, The Manager's Handbook, 5 Simple Steps to Build a Team, Stay Focused, Make Better Decisions, and Crush Your Competition. Once again, Dave, I'm trying to tailor this to the events in Florida, and you talk a lot in the book about key performance indicators and a way to track progress. I could just as easily apply it here, and the challenge for the president working with the governor to get help to these people and quickly. How do you do that?
Well, that's exactly right, Neil. I mean, the concepts in the book, the Manager's Handbook, the skills of trying to stay focused are just as applicable whether you make baseball gloves or whether you're trying to deal with a hurricane that's happening in Florida. And what's been really nice to see with this particular hurricane is that people do seem to be focused, and we are adopting the skills that are necessary in order to stay focused on what are the key performance indicators, like how quickly does electricity get put on, how quickly are the roads available so emergency vehicles can get in and people can get back to their homes, so that you're not just sort of like running around trying to figure out whatever is the shiny object or the dumpster fire you're trying to take care of, but you have a clear plan and a clear focus. And that's the difference between people like Sam Walton, who built Walmart, and people who are not focused and people who are not able to get things done.
You know, I wonder, too, the great story in there, and one of my favorite things in your book is some of the fun people you quote, including Ronald Reagan, of course, who said it really doesn't matter who gets the credit as long as the job is done. I'm oversimplifying here. But you're going to have a little bit of a competition between a Democratic president and a Republican governor, either taking a bow or trying to get it along and saying it couldn't get done without them. Now, to be fair to both men, they have not played that game. But there is always the concern and the paranoia one has with the other. The other guy is going to get credit for doing something that he did. How do you avoid that?
Well, Neil, maybe I'm idealistic about it, but I think in the end, Americans are smart, and they can see that there are some people who are really good at getting things done, and some people who just are not very good at getting things done. And talk only lasts so long. And so I think if you see, for example, a Biden administration that's working with DeSantis and they're getting things done, fine, there's credit for everybody. I firmly believe that the people in Florida, for example, they don't really care right now whether they're a Democrat or Republican. They don't care who gets the credit. They want their lights put on. They want their loved ones found. They want to find out where their dog is. They want to figure out how to get their roof fixed. They want to plan on insurance going forward. That's what they're looking for. And then the political party or the politician that is able to pull that off, they will get rewarded and they will get reelected. But the person that's all talk and no action, that doesn't know how to get things done, which is, of course, what I talk about so passionately in the Manager's Handbook, well, American people are going to figure that out.
Yeah, and sometimes you can have a crowd of people all trying to rush at the same time. You're the president, the governor, and all their people, and the mayors, and the councilmen, and everything else. I likened it to what you're talking about even with meetings, where you talk about choosing your attendees intentionally and not overdoing it. I'm simplifying it. But there is a risk that both sides could pile into this, and you don't want that many cooks in the kitchen, right?
Exactly. And, it may seem so sort of pedestrian to talk about how you run a meeting, but the effects actually are sort of volcanic in the sense that we spend 40% of our time in meetings. And interestingly enough, a survey which I reference in the book is that 50% of managers think that those meetings are either ineffective or highly ineffective. That is an extraordinary waste of time. But now imagine you're the governor of Florida, or you're head of FEMA, and you've got to assemble the right people there. Well, you can't run a meeting where you assemble 17 people there, of which 15 of those people are checking their emails. You need the people there that are able to get things done, that have a purpose for the meeting, and you need to run the meeting in a way, for example, as you know, I quote Jeff Bezos a lot, right, in how he runs his meeting at Amazon, that you run a very efficient meeting so you get in and you get out so people can get back to work, so they can, in the case of Florida, for example, get people back in their homes.
Good concept. I love Bezos because he just walks out of his own meetings sometimes. They're dragging on. Dave Dodson, all valuable information. We appreciate Dave Dodson, Manager's Handbook. It can apply to any endeavor, even historic ones like what's going on in Florida tomorrow.